Hello and welcome to Front Porch Discussions. My name is James Moffitt, and we have Nikki Hernandez from the Gentle Year with us today as a co-host, and we have Mark Osborne of the Valiant Forge podcast. Mark, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here again.
So, Nikki, since you're the new kid on the block as a co-host, introduce yourself to the listening audience and tell us about your podcast.
I wipe my nose in honor of you.
Oh my God, that's too funny. I was like, the voices in my head were going, oh no, she just didn't do that.
No, I got to show some respect, man. Coming on your show. Anyway, my name is Nikki Hernandez. I'm a high school teacher, and I am also the host of The Gentle Year, which is a podcast where I interview parents about philosophies regarding raising children and ideologies and systems that parents use to raise, hopefully, great kids. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. So, Mark, for the listening audience, people that might not know you, tell them about the Valiant Forge and what you are about with that.
I host a podcast called The Valiant Forge. It's for helping Christian men level up in their faith because sometimes men get stuck in a pattern like I was for many years. And I never say that I've broken out of it, but I am learning to come out of it and grow stronger in my faith in Christ. And I want people to join me on my journey.
That's awesome. And tell them about what's that community? The one that I bailed out of?
It's called the Cave of Adullam. It's a community for men to help sharpen each other. The reason it's called the Cave of Adullam, my signature question that I ask every man comes on a podcast is, when David was in the Cave of Adullam, he led a bunch of disgruntled, disheartened men into becoming mighty men. So that's why I call it that. That's where regular men become men of faith. The Cave of Adullam.
What's the name of the community?
School. S-K-O-O-L. Yeah.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. They have to find school before they can find that, right?
Right. Yep. I probably should have a less complicated name.
It's your show, so it's your show, your cave, your cavemen. And I have to say, my nose itches and I want to scratch it, but I ain't gonna do it.
Maybe you should explain to the audience what that is all about.
Yes. So as podcast hosts, we create content because we're creators or we're creatives. And anyway, I have several podcasts, several YouTube channels. I created a video, and in that video, for the first 30 seconds, I did this. I feel so much better now. But anyway, the engagement I got was, well, if you have things to teach us or to tell us, why don't you use a handkerchief? Watch the first 30 seconds of your video. And I was like, I wanted to delete that comment. Then I thought, well, my lizard brain said, well, you're always begging for engagement. So now you have some engagement.
Yeah, well, I would say we are podcasters, but we are also human beings.
True. So I resisted the urge to delete the comment, and I said, okay, you caught me. I did it. And so there, laugh out loud. And
I had an interesting comment that I had to hide.
Oh, yeah?
Because I had a guy on who talked a lot about Bible prophecy, and actually the comment had nothing to do with what the guy was talking about, but it was like a 2-page synopsis on how Trump is the Antichrist. I was like, yeah, I'm not diving into this.
Right. So we've already said his name one time too many on the show.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
That orange guy.
I call him the melon felon, but anyway, we digress.
You're going to need to do some editing here.
So, nah, we're keeping it real. So Front Porch Discussions is a new YouTube podcast that we started up, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. It's brand new. We've only had I think we've had 3 episodes so far. This will be number 4. And Front Porch Discussions is just like friends getting together on a front porch with their Coors Light or tea or vodka or whatever drink is your choice of drink. I don't think any of us are drinking a beer or vodka at this point, but it's just like friends talking. There's no telling what we're going to talk about either. Talk about all sorts of stuff. But Nikki, where are you from?
I am from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Charlottesville, Virginia. And you said you're a basketball fan?
Yeah, I do like to watch basketball.
Yeah.
You like all basketball, or you're just like Caitlin Clark?
That's a good question. I played basketball when I was in school, so it was always my love and my passion.
Nice.
I think growing up in the 90s was kind of spoiling everything for me because that was the golden era of all sports, And watching the Bulls and Michael Jordan just made me fascinated with the game. And
from Chicago, by the way.
Yeah, I usually watch sports nowadays because I'm so busy because there's a particular player that I'm enamored with. And that would be, for me, Caitlin and Paige Beckers and all the girls because I like to watch women's basketball a lot. And I was a huge fan of the WNBA growing up. Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, all those players. And then it just kind of fizzled out. And Caitlin, in my opinion, just reignited that passion that I had when I was a kid.
So what position did you play?
I was a shooting guard. That was my primary role.
Played low post.
Nice.
Yeah.
Small
Low
forward?
post in the center.
Okay, cool.
We
Nice.
were
I
a
did not-
small. I'm from a small town called Quinlan, Texas, and it was a population of, I don't know, maybe 3,000 people, if that much. It was a little tiny town. We didn't have a Walmart. We did have a Dairy Queen. We had Save Mart, which was a local grocery store.
I'm 5'3",
so.
so I played basketball. I was never good at it. The best I could
Well,
do was run around a lot and steal the ball.
Be fast, yeah. Be kind of a
We didn't
mosquito.
have a lot of height on our team, but we were fast, and we were always doing fast breaks down the court. And we, by halftime, we wore out the first string and the second string by the time we got to halftime. And that's how we won a lot of our games. It's just about outrunning them.
Yeah, that's the Indiana
my
fever
brother-
too. They're definitely a run and gun type team.
Yeah.
My brother, he was almost a D1 player, and then he hurt his knee, and he had to have surgery, and he was never the same.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He ended up becoming a coach, though, for the past 25 years in Kentucky. He's been a coach for football and basketball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He must have some serious chops.
Yeah, he's good.
So, Nikki, you like basketball?
I do.
What else do you do for fun? What are some of your hobbies?
I like to work. I like
You like to work?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I think that every aspect of work is just fun for me. I enjoy it. I don't feel like I'm actually working. Like, I just love it. And then also, I would say pickleball. Pickleball is a pretty popular sport where I am, and I love to play too.
Yeah, I play that
That's
too.
what us seniors like to play, apparently. That's a senior
Thanks,
sport.
James.
Not anymore.
I haven't played it.
It's an amazing
It's a fun game. It's not that
Yeah.
it can be active, but it's not always that active.
Yeah. It can be as slow or as fast as you want it to be.
I think I would like to sit on the side somewhere with a glass of lemonade and just watch. That's my idea of having fun.
There you go.
What
You'd be the
grade do you
sleeper
teach, Nikki?
Outside of the fence, watching everybody play. What?
What grade do you teach?
Oh, high school, 9 through 12.
So you have,
Got the
is
big
it
ones.
like different class every hour or so?
Yeah. Usually a different
Yeah.
class every hour. But this year I'm teaching a lot of different classes, so it's gonna be a crazy year, but fun nonetheless.
So you do multiple subjects?
Yeah, most of the time it's just one, but there was a lot of turnover this year, and they weren't able to fill the positions, and so that leaves a lot of classes that are kind of open where they're trying to scramble and fill, certain
see.
things. Yeah.
What's your
school's out
expertise?
now, right?
Yeah, thank God. Got
What's
some
your
freedom.
expertise?
Feel human again. I
What
am
subject?
certified in English, ESL, and Spanish.
You're probably judging them by my grammar.
No, I never judge anybody for anything. There's nothing about me that is there's no need for me to judge anybody on anything. I have no right to judge anyone.
My wife, Katie, is a special ed teacher, so she's out for the summer.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Every time this happens, I think, why wasn't I a teacher?
Really?
Right.
That is so awesome. Now, did you ever see the movie called The Substitute Teacher?
Was that with Cameron Diaz or something? Oh, no, I think that was Bad Teacher.
That was Bad Teacher. The Substitute
It was a female.
Teacher
It was a
came out
male
in the,
teacher.
Yeah, he was like an ex-mercenary or something like that, special forces.
Yeah.
And
I kind of remember it.
there were a lot of unruly thugs in the classroom, and I don't know. He deployed a lot of his skill sets in containing the bad kids, and of course he'd be in prison today for what he pulled on that movie. But if I was a teacher, I'd be using lots of duct tape, all sorts of things that would be really against the rules.
Yeah, the
Wow.
school systems are soft.
Yeah, you and I, James, came from the era where they were paddling still.
Yeah, and I got lit up several times.
Man.
A lot of our teachers were actually coaches in Quinlan, Texas, and they love to use their paddles. I got tuned up several times.
In front of people, or was this like,
No, out in the hallway.
wow.
They pull you out of the classroom and light you up.
And where did they hit you? On the arm or?
No,
Backside.
paddles on the rear end.
Yep.
Jeez.
You never heard of
They
that?
use that scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were into beating kids. They was like, they didn't tolerate anything. And I remember one time when the coach would leave the room to go do something, whatever, use the restroom, go to the principal's office, I don't know. Well, we were throwing paper wads at the corner trash can by the door. And we'd be wadding up paper and, playing basketball in the classroom instead of doing what we were supposed to do. And so I was throwing a high arc paper wad towards the corner of the classroom, and he walked in, and I caught him right here with it. And well, I got a beating for that. He didn't like that. And then he'd send us to the Coke machine to get Cokes. And so what we would do is we'd roll the Coke all the way back to the classroom, and that way when he opened it, it would turn into a geyser and get everything sticky wet.
Were the Cokes in glass, or were they in an aluminum can?
We were kind of begging for a beating at that point. But anyway,
I don't have a lot of memories from my elementary school days. The one that I have that sticks out is I was same as now. I wasn't very organized. I would stuff all my papers in my desk, and it was clean out your desk day. And my teacher was in the back having a conference with the parents, and I just kept pulling papers out of my desk, taking them to the garbage can, and she just kept looking at me. At the end of the day, she got 2 shopping bags. Back then, they were like paper shopping bags with handles. I lived a block and a half away. Nice hat. I lived a block and a half away from school. She walked me home with those 2 paper bags and explained to my parents that I never did any of my homework. And she found all of my homework in my desk when I was cleaning out my desk. I got spanked
How did your parents
that day
react?
from my father.
Oh, you did?
My father spanked me. Yeah.
Mm.
And I think I was grounded for a week or so.
Being a child of the 70s, my parents were really big into corporal punishment. And so if they got a phone call from the school stating that I got paddled for whatever, then I would get paddled at home too. So they were into double jeopardy. You get in trouble at school, you get trouble at home. We're going to teach you. Don't get into trouble.
At some point, at some point in my grade school, they stopped paddling. I graduated in '85, so I was a few years behind you, James. But I do remember the early years they did paddle.
Well, my doctor said I'd be fine. He just didn't say when. It didn't affect me at all.
That's funny. Didn't change your ways. Didn't modify your behavior.
No, I just learned how to get away with stuff. I wasn't so upfront with it anymore.
Be a little sneakier.
So what's
maturity?
No, maturity's not cracked up to what it's supposed to be. I don't think it's overrated. What's the funnest part of your job, Nikki?
Observing. I would say for me, it's observing the behavior of people, because everybody does the craziest things. People do some of the behaviors. They do the craziest things where I'm just like, why would you do that? And I just like observing it. It's sort of like a movie to me, where I'm just like watching all of this stuff unfold, and I'm like, oh my God, this is wild. So yeah, I'd say the funnest part for me is just observing some of the happenings.
How long have you been teaching?
13 years.
Have you had any kids come back and thank you for teaching them or anything like that?
Yeah, every teacher does. You have this like big folder or a filing cabinet or something where you store all of, the letters and the cards and things like that you get. And I would say that recently they've gotten fewer and fewer. I haven't received very many in the past several years, and my teaching hasn't changed or anything like that. I'm still the same person, but I have noticed that the general feeling of gratitude is not as prevalent as it used to be. And in my earlier years teaching, you would receive notes and gifts and things like that. Not that I ever wanted it or expected it or anything like that, but it did happen more frequently. And then every now and then I will get an email that's sometimes the last one I got that really stood out to me was a kid who I tutored. It wasn't a kid who I taught at the school where I work. It was a kid who I tutored like one time. It was a one-off session. I was working for this like random tutoring company. I tutored him for maybe 3 hours on an AP essay just to help him just to understand the process and all of his ideas. And it was just a one-off. I never saw him again. And then years later, I get an email from this kid saying, hey, I don't know if you remember me. You tutored me one time online. You were helping me with my AP essay. And I do remember helping him. And he said, you changed my life and helped me so much. And I was like, wow. So yeah, sometimes you get these really amazing notes from kids. Every teacher has them, though, because we, contrary to popular belief, we really do give like our all to these students. We really do
Sure.
pour
Yeah.
our hearts and soul. I mean, there's some people that don't, but for the most part, we pour our heart out every day.
Yeah, I think people tend to generalize teachers because they see certain teachers act in a certain way, and that's what everybody focuses on. My wife was a teacher's aide for a long time too, so I have a little bit of understanding behind it.
And insight, yeah, into what goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she ever tell you about any interesting
Oh yeah,
shenanigans
she was
stories?
yeah, she worked with special needs kids, like autistic kids. So she learned a lot about, certain kids need certain. She had one kid that he was really into cars. So he was autistic and he was having a hard time learning and memorizing, and she figured out that he loves cars. He would see a certain car drive by when they were on the playground. She's like, okay, I think I can use this to try to help him learn. So she started buying him Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars and used them to help him learn how to count and remember things. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that really is cool. Just an example of that. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds. My dog has to go outside, and I told my mom that I would let her
Okay.
outside if she needed to go. So I will be right back.
No problem. Just you and I,
Well,
James.
we just lost one of our co-hosts just for the time being. After these messages, we'll be right back. Remember the Super Friends cartoons?
What kind of questions you got?
You remember the Super Friends?
Oh yeah.
That's before you, right? The Super Friends cartoons, Batman, Superman, the Joker.
I mean, it
all
might have
that,
started before me, but they were playing it when I was a kid.
Every time they'd go to
Justice.
commercials, that was their little jingle. After these messages, we'll be.
Yeah.
Well, I have a list of questions.
Saturday morning cartoons is what I remember.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. My parents used to love to put us kids in front of the TV for an hour while they went off and did whatever.
Yeah. Were you your parents remote back in the day?
Do what now?
Were you your parents remote? So if you were in another room and they needed the TV channel
absolutely.
changed.
Go change the channel. That was before. Yeah. That's when we had the old timey tuners.
Yep.
Click, 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 click. You only had like 6 channels: UHF, VHF. Yeah.
And sometimes you'd have to move the antennas to get a better signal.
Oh yeah, you had to wrap aluminum foil on it.
Yep.
And, yeah, those were the good old days
For sure.
I remember.
Now we sound
I remember
like old people.
I remember how my parents. My dad was a TV man in Quinlan, and so we always had top of the line TVs, and it wasn't just a TV. It was a piece of furniture where you had opened the lid and it had a 8-track player and had a.
Oh yeah.
Had
those things were ginormous.
LPs, AM, FM radio, LPs, record player.
You'd have to have at least 4 guys to move those around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were heavy. But I remember when my dad upgraded at some point to a color TV that had a digital tuner, and you had a remote where you could change the channels. Well, he still had his kids go up there and punch in channel 4, punch in channel 8, or whatever. And I was like, and it was the same way with the cordless phones. Like they always left the cordless phone in the cradle charging, and every time the phone would ring, they would run from wherever they were at to go get the cordless phone. And I'm like, you can put that thing in your pocket and just walk around the house with it, or take it from the kitchen and put it by your coffee table in the the living room or whatever when you're watching TV. It doesn't have to sit in the cradle. That's why they call it a cordless phone.
I wonder how long the battery life was on those things.
I don't know.
I have one of the newest iPhones, and the battery, I mean, it'll last all day, but by the end of the night, it's about dead. You'd think by this time they would make batteries better.
Well, the rumor is that Apple pushes upgrades, firmware, software updates to your phone. Every time you have to do an update,
kill the battery. Yeah.
They include something in the software, the firmware that causes the battery to lose its ability to keep a charge. Yeah. I've got an iPhone 16, which is not the latest, but I have noticed that it does. I don't think it would keep a charge all day long. I have to plug it in when I'm at work because it gets down to like 40 or 30%. I don't think
you
it would
plug
last
it in
all
overnight,
day.
So it's fully charged in the morning. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, mine lasts about all day, depending on how much I'm using it. I don't use my phone that much at work, so.
What phone do you have?
17.
Oh, okay. Yep. They're fixing to come out with the 18.
Yeah, I'll wait. These phones are not cheap.
No, they're not. They run about $1,000, $1,000 to $1,200, depending on which model you get. I've got an iPhone 16, just a regular 16. I didn't get a Pro. I didn't get the Max. I was like, no, I don't need all that. I just want the base model.
Yeah,
It does everything I need it to do.
I got the Pro just because I like the bigger screen.
Got you. Well,
Yeah.
with the Pro, you get better camera lenses and telephoto and all that too.
Yeah, and
So if
I
you like
know
to-
there's.
if you like,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, if you like to do point and shoot photography, the Pro models are Pro and Max. They have the better lenses.
Yeah, I've used it on one of my podcast videos, and it looks way better than my laptop camera.
Right. That's because
And-
you've got an ancient laptop.
Yeah, that's true. I know there's an app you can use to set up your camera to run through your computer, but I've tried to set that up a couple times. It's a little cumbersome.
Riverside allows you to use your phone as a camera.
Yeah, I know.
Is that what you use?
I tried it once, but I had to have an app to do it. I think it was
Or-
Elgato or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what kind of dog do you have, Nikki?
Sorry. A crazy one. A very
that
needy
was a
one.
first. We've never had a co-host just blink the camera and say, I got to take my dog out.
That's just, it's life. It's real life.
That's right. It's life at the front porch, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes you got to get up
exactly.
and go use the restroom or take the
Yeah.
dog out or.
I've been gone for a long time today, and so I'm at my mom's house just getting ready to watch the game. But with me filming up here, my dog has sort of separation anxiety. So whenever I'm upstairs and I'm not with her, and she won't come upstairs, but if she feels I'm not with her, she gets all psycho and she starts looking for me, wanting to go outside and just acting
What kind
a
of dog
fool.
is it?
She's a mix of Beagle, Dachshund, and Foxhound and Bloodhound.
What?
So she's got
That's
the
crazy.
sweet face. She's got the very like sweet Dachshund face, but the Beagle colors and sort of the fat pudgy body of a.
That's
Bloodhound.
funny. But that's interesting.
She's sweet. Yeah, she really is the sweetest dog, and she's definitely a handful.
How old is she?
She's almost 13 now, I think. I got her at the SPCA, so they estimate on their age, and they said that she was probably around 6 when I got her, and so I've had her for probably close to 7 years now.
We have a lab that's 15.
Wow.
And she's not doing well. She's slowly stumbling towards the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
Not
poor
looking
thing.
forward to it.
No, it's not a good thing.
My wife wanted to have her put down to the tune of $750, and I was like,
Oof.
no, I would rather take the 30-cent route than the $750 route.
Why does it cost that much? It's usually like not that.
Well, it's a vet that comes to your house and they
Mm.
give you the white glove treatment and let you sit with the dog and all of that.
Yeah.
And then they take the body and dispose of it. And you can make 3 payments. You don't have to pay $750 up front. You pay like $243 3 times or something like that. And I was like, despite the fact that she's become quite a challenge with regards to, she just doesn't worry about going outside anymore. She just does it wherever she's at. And so we have to clean up after her every day, multiple times a day. And so that's kind of a pain. But
Why don't you just
we
take
have
her
a-
to the vet and have?
we have that's an option. I just don't want her doing anything in my car. I have a relatively new car, and I don't care to have her have any accidents in it. But anywho,
Yeah.
Mark, do you have any pets?
No, my wife has allergies really bad, so
Okay,
we
Yeah.
can't have
so I
any.
guess that means you're the pet.
Exactly. Yeah. She says jump, I say how high.
Exactly. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I won't go there. Don't really like that saying.
You don't like that saying?
You don't like that,
No.
Sapie?
But this isn't a podcast for Christian men, so it's a misnomer.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you should like a husband and wife should be a couple that gets along and works everything out together. The man is the head and he leads, but he doesn't pull her along. He leads her side by side. Everybody likes to use that, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands first. But a couple verses after that, it says, submit yourselves one to another. So it should be a compilation. You guys are co-leading together, not just the phrase happy wife, happy life just says you should just do everything your wife says and leave it at that. And you should both be happy, not just your wife. I don't want to get too far into this. Go too far
I
down.
think I struck on a nerve. It's okay. It's just a saying. I don't put a whole lot of
I agree.
I don't put a whole lot of weight into it. Just it's a funny saying.
What kind of questions you got?
Let's see. when you look back over the last few years, what moment changed you the most?
Are you asking me or whoever?
Anybody? It's up in the air. Somebody grab it.
Oof.
Don't let it float away.
I'll let you start, Nikki.
Let's see here. Trying to think. There's so many moments that change. I mean, you're not the same person that you were 5 minutes ago. Like the moment that we started this podcast, I'm a different person now, 28 minutes later. It's just every moment is shifting something about you and you're evolving. And I feel like to say that there was one singular moment out of the past couple of years or few years that changed me, it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to pinpoint, just because there were so many that I'm conscious of and not conscious of, if that makes sense. But I probably would say that I just have a lot more drive. I have a lot more drive, a lot more motivation, because I'm aware of the fact of my own creative power, and becoming aware of that, which I think came from a series of events, not just one, was something that I would say fundamentally changed my confidence and belief in myself and things like that. So yeah, kind of a roundabout answer, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same, just being I don't identify, I just did a whole article about this. I don't identify myself as a podcaster, but becoming a podcaster, I used to call myself introverted. I no longer see myself as that because I'm interviewing people I've never met all the time. I really just met you today, Nikki, other than a few WhatsApp conversations. And I'm not nervous, shy. 2 years ago, I would have been extremely nervous, shy. I'd be sweating and my face would be all red. But yeah, so, I mean, really, podcasting has changed me, but not because I'm a podcaster now, just because it's opened up my personality and helped me realize that I'm more than what I thought I was.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
It must be really hot where you're at, Mark.
It is warm. My air conditioning is on, but in my studio, I don't want the air conditioning buzzing. Even though I don't have that kind of mic anymore, I still am self-conscious of it. My office is closed off and there's no air in here.
You look like you're sweating profusely.
My shining forehead.
Yeah. Your whole
glisten.
face is kind of shiny. Excuse me while
I just
rub
have
my
that
nose.
glow.
Yeah, it's just a glow.
Yeah, I think I would say podcasting has certainly had a kind of changed me a little. Not really. I'm still who I am. I don't really think it changed who I am, but I think that it added an extra dimension to my life in that I'm not a people person. I don't really, peopling all day long kind of wears me out. And I can be around people and I can interact with people, groups of, let's say, 3 to 5 people I'm comfortable with. But you walk into, if you belong to a mega church, which I do, I don't like going to church on Sunday and sitting in a crowd of 300 or 400 people. That's just not my idea of fun. And so I like to sit towards the back, and I'm a safety volunteer at church, so I'm typically near an exit or in a strategically placed position where I can see everything that's going on. But podcasting and hosting guests via Riverside has created some growth in me in that I'm able to interact with different people from all parts of the world, and it has opened up a whole new world to me. It's not that I didn't know that there were people all over the world, it's just I never really was able to interact with them face to face via video feed or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of helped me to spread my wings a little bit and fly about the room and get more comfortable.
Funny how people like us three here who are probably pretty introverted, all three
Right.
have podcasts.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting here jabbering away about nothing.
How long have you been podcasting, Nikki?
Since November of this past year, 2025.
Really? So you just started?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love it. I've got 30 some episodes out, I think. So it's pretty cool. I love it.
And tell us again, you probably said this and I just missed it. Tell me about the Gentle Gear. What exactly is that about?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a podcast where I interview parents on parenting philosophies, parenting strategies, everything from raising kids with autism and ADHD to college readiness, homeschooling, the whole gamut. So if anybody is a parent and they want to come on my show and talk about something related to their life and they have something substantive to say, then I invite them on. I did actually have an interesting experience that I could tell you about if you guys are interested.
Yeah,
I've
for
never
sure.
had it
Absolutely, yeah.
happen. So the other day I was interviewing a lady and we were in the middle of the show. I don't film live. And in the middle of it, she just leaves. She leaves the podcast. She goes, I gotta go. I have a thing. She just like leaves the Zoom session and just like walks out mid conversation. And I was like, okay. And then I closed down the Zoom, and that was a first. That was a first for me.
Wow.
She
So
was a
does it
mindset
become
coach.
does it become like a counseling session, or is it just
That's a good question. So I'm not a parent and I guess a dog mom, but like that doesn't count. So for me, when I interview these individuals, it can feel like a counseling session in some ways because I'm asking difficult questions for the most part. And I always want the person who comes on my show to be a true expert, to really know what they're talking about, because the questions that I ask are going to expose you if you're not that thing. So if you're not what you claim you are, you're going to get exposed pretty quickly. And I don't come to expose people, but that is my energy. Even my mom says it. My mom, we joke about it all the time. She's like, I know what your purpose in life is, because we always joke like, what's your purpose in life? What's your purpose in life? And my purpose is to expose people and expose anything. If there's and my mom even jokes about it. She's like, people better be careful when they're around you, because I don't intentionally do it. But if someone is around me and they're doing shady stuff, or if someone is around me and they're not who they say they are, they will get exposed eventually. Everything about them will come out. It's just a thing. I don't mean to do it. I don't want to do it, but it just is what it is. And so this lady, she was no different. She came on my show as a mindset coach, lifestyle coach, something like that, to help people sort of navigate through complex issues. And so I was asking her some questions. I could tell that she didn't feel comfortable with the questions. So I tried to give her some easier questions so that she could get into a rhythm. Well, I guess I hit a nerve because I started talking about the coaching industry. I started to say, like, you've got your Tony Robbins, your Joe Dispenzas, and different people that are out there promoting mindset and all that. And I think that's great. I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they do what they do. I'm sure as long as it's helping people, it's not hurting anybody, like, cool. But I asked her the question, do you think that this mind, body, soul coaching stuff is really just another big industry to make money, to sell people on the next course, the next book, the next thing, the next training that they need to quote unquote be happy?
that's
And
definitely a triggering question.
yeah, like, because I come at you pretty hard when I'm asking these questions. I'm very sweet, very nice, very respectful, but that's a question. That's a fair question. And if you're coming on my show, you need to know that. And everybody I've had on my show has been absolutely fantastic. They've been amazing. And I can say that with confidence because they didn't get exposed. So that's good. But she was the first person who like came on my show, and I asked her that question, and that was when she had enough. She couldn't take it anymore, and she left.
I kind of am with you, Nikki, on the coaching industry. It has become an industry, and I've looked into coaching myself, not doing it, but maybe hiring a coach, and it's so expensive, and it seems like you're charging
And
people a
anyone
lot of
can call
money
themselves a
just to
coach.
give advice,
Mhm.
because that's basically what it is. I mean, obviously some of it's expert advice and you've been trained, but why does it have to, if being a podcast for Christian men, I may at some point, I do disciple some men from my church, but if it comes to the point where I have people reaching out to me for coaching, I am not going to charge them through the roof to have a conversation with me. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird dynamic for me. It just seems like they're charging way too much.
Yeah. And I wasn't even asking her about that specific part of the industry because I wanted to do like a gotcha moment with her. No, it wasn't
Gotcha.
like that at
Yeah.
all. Not at all. I was asking her about her own personal experiences, her own journey, her own growth, and everything, seemed to be going okay. And then when I started to ask some questions about like the way parents might feel, because that's what the show is for. It's not to interview you. Like this show right here isn't the interview James or interview Nikki or interview Mark show. This is a conversation. So I'm always gearing my questions towards the audience and what I feel in the moment is going to be a question that they have, because I did work in journalism for a number of years. And so I'm going to find out the truth one way or another. There's no way around it. If you're around me, the truth will get exposed. I can tell you.
It's funny because when you said that earlier that you expose people, my thought was she should have been a journalist.
Yeah, I was for a little while. And so, but it's true. And the same goes for me though. So I don't mean to say like I expose people. It sounds so arrogant to say for people who don't know me and for people who are not discerning because they're like, oh, she thinks she's this. It's not that at all. It applies to me too. If I'm doing something shady, if I'm doing something wrong, I can't get away with it. I've always told my mom, my grandma that, everybody, I've always said, even if I try to get away with something, like I will fully get caught within 2 seconds. You can read my whole face, everything. There's nothing I can get away with. So I just embody this essence that will not allow anything or anyone, including myself, to get away with anything. And I don't even have to try. I don't have to ask questions. It's just you being in my presence. That's really the catalyst of it. And so when she came on as a mindset coach, I have to think of the parents. I have to think about the people who would utilize her service, because if I'm part of the vetting process, so if they were going to, read her book or take a class or book her coaching services, like I have to do some of the vetting for these people. And when they watch the show, that the whole purpose is that they feel comfortable listening to this person. That doesn't mean they have to take advice from them, but they need to feel like I've truly done my due diligence and not just thrown them softball questions all day.
Nikki, did I interview you on my podcast?
No, I interviewed you.
Okay.
What did you expose from James?
Yeah,
nothing.
What did you expose from
James? He's pretty much an open book.
Yeah, your
That's
podcast.
What I love about James, actually. He's so open.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm pulling up right now.
You're a speed typer.
Oh yeah,
I was like, what in the world is a popcorn machine just went off?
I could type for like 200 words an hour. It's crazy. Or a minute. Let me see here.
Stop touching your nose.
Sorry. Sorry for whoever's watching me and wants to.
It's okay.
So, James, your episode is posted on Spotify. I'm looking for it right now. And I know, obviously, it was about losing a child. So it was heart-wrenching. Let's see here. Yeah, it says, God didn't stop my kids from dying. How fathers can prepare for the unthinkable. And then your name. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were one of the 8 guest interviews that I did when I was guesting.
When we're done, can you send a link to that in the WhatsApp chat? I want to listen to it.
Yeah, I can. You can see how I ask questions and be like, do some research.
Well, I'm happy to know that I passed the test.
Yeah. If you pass the test, then you're all good. My mom is the same way though. She can tell. She told me the other day that when she meets someone, I said, because my mom is way better at this than I do it accidentally. I don't mean to expose people. When I say that, I mean that. My mom though, no, hers is very calculated. Hers is very intentional. And so for her, I asked her, I said, Mom, what kind of sensation do you get when you know that somebody isn't who they say they are? And she goes, it's like a dark cloud comes over me. And I said, is it a feeling? Do you see a cloud? Like what's going on? And she says, yeah, I actually will see something. I will see a darkness and it'll come over me. And sometimes she goes, if I'm not 100, like it doesn't, sometimes it's immediate. And she says sometimes it's immediate where there's like an immediate dark cloud. It's immediate darkness that she can physically see. Or if it's not immediate, there's a haze. There's a gray haze that comes in front of her and she can see the haze. And I was like, wow, I can't see it. All I can do is just feel it. So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah. I don't like superficial chit chat, and I like to get to the heart of the matter, and I like to find out what makes people tick. Tell me who you are. No, I don't want to talk about the weather or politics or sports or any of those superficial chit-chatty sort of conversations, right? And there's nothing wrong with having icebreakers. There's nothing wrong with kind of easing into a conversation. I get all that. But I'm not going to sit down for an hour and talk about the weather, because that's just not who I am. I have better things to do with my life.
Yeah.
And so I like
Speaking
to know
of what's the weather like in
tick.
North Carolina? I'm just kidding.
It's kind of dry in here. The humidity's not too bad. Let's see, 77 degrees, 46% humidity.
Wow.
You may not notice, but it's hot in my office right now.
It's about 80% humidity in your office, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap this up. We're at 51 minutes. Any closing thoughts?
Cool. No, cool. First show. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a
Enjoyed
lot of
having
fun.
you. Yep.
I like
I don't have any
having
closing thoughts.
I
I've already
love having a
triggered enough
female
people.
co-host that can keep us in line and keep us from running our little red wagon over the cliff. All right. So for everybody listening or watching, I'll say thank you for the privilege of your time. Thanks for watching. And I'm sorry that we keep scratching our noses. My nose itches.
Let us know what you think of the conversation, and if you want to comment below on what you thought, or if you have any thoughts yourself.
And
How you
please
feel about
subscribe.
us scratching our noses.
Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and family, and I'll try to have a handkerchief the next time I'm online.
Thanks,
All
James.
right.
Thanks, Mark.
All right.
You're
Everybody have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.